If you were stressed about your money in April, trust me, you were not alone. We thought the sky was falling. But May has ended up to be a much better month. The stock market has been cooking, and as a result, it's pushed us to the brink of a major milestone. Today, I'm opening up our actual accounts, showing you real numbers of a single income family and what we're doing right now to build wealth. My current 401k balance is at about $98,265. That is pushing us right underneath that $100,000 milestone. Now, this will be the first single account that hits six figures, and it's taken about 7 years. I can narrow it down to about 3 things that I've done to help it get to $100,000. The first thing is I'm always taking advantage of the company match. If the company match is 5%, then I'm contributing at least 5%. Always taking advantage of the free money. Number 2, I try to increase the allocation at least 1% each year, or with a pay bump or a promotion. Now, it may not seem like a lot here in the short term, but in the long term, it definitely makes a difference. And number 3, inside my 401k, I try to stay invested in cheap, broad market index funds. Fees can eat up your returns. I make sure that I know what I'm invested in and I pick the investments. A couple changes I've made to my 401k this year have been reducing the allocation percentage. So at the beginning of the year, I bumped it up from 6% to 7%. And now I'm bumping it back down to the 6%. And the reason for this is because we have other priorities. We're trying to get our emergency fund built back up, kind of reallocating that 1% elsewhere. So the 6% is the match. So I'm just contributing right at that 6%. Now where I'm increasing our allocation is towards the employee stock purchase plan. So I'm going from 3% allocation up to a 5% allocation. And the reason for this is because it's basically free money, right? So we get a 15% discount when we buy our company's stock and participate in the employee stock purchase plan. And then I go and I sell that stock immediately and I purchase VU, which is Vanguard's S&P 500 ETF. So the balance of our brokerage account sits at $3,528. And the amount set aside for the stock purchase is at about $1,160. Now our Roth accounts sit at about $21,000 combined. But we have paused the contributions until our savings is back to where we want it. Speaking of savings, our savings account is at about $10,247. Ideally, we want this number at about $25,000. That'll be about 6 months worth for us. We're hoping within the next year or so, we'll be able to have this built up. Moving on to our total debt. Our total debt sits at about $9,374. That's made up of our $7,500 auto loan. Will be paid off in 3 years. Those payments start in June. The next largest balance we have is that $1,600 for the furniture. That'll be paid off at the end of June next year. And then the rest of it is just like a few $100s of credit cards. And we continue to pay off our credit cards each month. And with that, let's jump into our net worth. So our total net worth sits at about $158,000. Now, this has been a jump since the last month's net worth update because now I'm including our vehicles. Since we have that auto loan now, I didn't want to just include the auto loan as the debt because then it would kind of make our net worth inaccurate. Our vehicles are worth about $21,000. And that's after taking out the $7,500 loan. So what are we doing to increase our savings to try to build up our emergency fund as fast as we can? One thing we're doing is, as I said earlier, we stopped Roth contributions, and now that brings in about $600 that's going directly into savings each month. That's gonna take us about 2 years to get to $25,000. So I wanna expedite that. So I'm looking for a part-time job for a short amount of time just to try to make as much money as I can and just boost our savings as quick as we can. And I haven't had really any luck in the past month. I've probably applied to about like 10, 15 jobs, but I'm gonna start opening up and applying to more like fast food places that there's a lot of turnover at. And the second update is a little bit more exciting. So Aaliyah and I have been trying to figure out a way how she can make money while being at home with the kids. I think one side hustle we're gonna test and experiment with is reselling baby clothes. So it's a low startup cost, like baby clothes are pretty cheap already. People go through baby clothes like crazy. Babies grow so fast. We'll see, it's something new, something exciting. I'm not sure how it's gonna go, but hey man, we're trying something. So at the very least, there's very low startup costs. So if it doesn't end up working out, it is what it is. I'll be able to give an update within the next month at the next update, so wish us luck. If your family's thinking about transitioning to a single income, or someone who just wants to follow along our journey, or if you're someone just trying to learn the basics of personal finance, hit subscribe. We're gonna give you updates each month, weekly, about what we're doing and how we're trying to build wealth for our family. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.